Hello again. I've had a couple of days pain-free, so yeah, thought I'd take the chance to make a video. Originally this was going to be the Essential Elvis series, but whilst I was putting it together I thought, if you think about it, it began in 1974 really, with the release of A Legendary Performer Volume 1. So this was a mixture of previously released tracks and some unreleased performances. The most significant one being an alternate version of I Love You Because from the Sun sessions. So an interesting start. 1975 came Volume 2. Now this time we got Harbour Lights, a previously unheard Sun recording, and a Cane in a High Starch Collar, an outtake from the Flaming Star soundtrack sessions. 1978 came Volume 3. We got Danny, probably one of the best outtakes, best unreleased songs from the King Creole soundtrack, and Britches, another Flaming Star outtake. 1983 came Volume 4. We did well on this one. We got When It Rains It Really Pours, an unreleased Sun recording. We got One Night of Sin, the original recording that was rewritten as One Night with You, which I really like. Plantation Rock, an outtake from the Girls 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 soundtracks record sessions, and the first official release of The Lady Loves Me, the duet with Anne Margaret from Viva Las Vegas. We also got the first two home recordings, and Beginning to Forget You and Mona Lisa. And surely those home recordings are a case where, using modern technology, they should record some new backings and try to turn them into proper songs. And Volume 3 was also released as a limited edition picture disc, which is a nice thing to find if you haven't got it. In 1987 came Essential Elvis. So this is in effect a continuation of the Legendary Performer idea. Put unreleased performances. So these are outtakes from the first film soundtrack sessions. So UK black disc. Really nice collection of songs. The American release has a slightly different cover. So if you look, the yellow box is missing. But other than that, it's the same. And the CD, of course, is the American. In 1989 came Volume 2. Now these are unreleased outtakes, but they are also in binaural, which is an early form of stereo. Sound quality is superb. And if you look there, you can see it says erase. The tapes were actually marked to be erased, but thankfully either a very far-sighted engineer or an engineer who wasn't very good at his job didn't erase them. In 1990 came Volume 3, Hits Like Never Before. Now, to me, those three are Essential Elvis. The next three, although they're called Essential Elvis, to me they don't really fit. They're a separate thing. So volume 4 came out in '96, and we got to hear the unreleased 100 Years From Now. These are all tracks from the 1970 and 71 sessions, if I remember correctly. When this came out, I absolutely loved it. I just played it to death. Recorded it onto cassette so that I could take it with me wherever I went. Fantastic selection of songs, fantastic performances. Couldn't say enough to praise that. In '98, Elvis Rhythm and Country, Essential Elvis Volume 5, Stax Outtakes. Again, a great selection. Of course, all of these have been superseded by later releases. At the time, they were just superb. Volume 6 came out in 2000, Such a Night. So this covers 60, 61. Now they also released vinyl and gatefold, even though it's a single disc, which is a nice touch. And here you can see the beginning of FTD. If I said that this was an FTD album, you'd say yeah, if you didn't know better. And the album itself was given the large silver dot, so as it would have looked had it been released in the UK at the time, which is another nice touch. The American version, again missing that yellow box, but other than that the same. Gatefold. Instead of just repeating, they put the current label. Now, of course, it would have been much better had they put the 50s American label on it. Essential Elvis Volume 2, Stereo 57. And look at that for a cover. That's one thing you do miss with CDs, the glory of a full album cover. Again, gatefold. And the album itself is done with the large silver spot, so as it would have looked in the UK had it been released at the time, which is a nice touch. The American release, so it's all pretty much the same cover. Of course, the disc has a different label. Now, instead of doing the label how it would have appeared in America at the time, they've done the label that was in use when it was released, which is a shame. But they did make up for it with this magnificent release. So this is the 2-disc release, 45 RPM. As you can see that on the tape box it says erase. So whoever the engineer was that decided not to, or was not good at his job, well done. And this time they got it right. So we have the American Living Stereo label as it would have appeared at the time. This is a fantastic release. It's not cheap, but if you can get a copy, get one. Volume 3, UK, hits like never before. Oops. That's a reminder to take my pills. I suppose you call that the large black spot. Done in the UK style. Now 4, 5 and 6 weren't released on vinyl. But the other thing that I have to show you, unreleased highlights from Essential Elvis Presley. A special radio sampler, so this is a promo, and it's for highlights from volume 1. Not easy to find. They would have been produced in limited quantities. Occasionally crops up for sale. The white RCA promo label. Now of course, although Essential Elvis ended there in 2000, in 1999 we got the first volume from FTD, follow that Dream Collectors label. So they were essentially carrying on the tradition that started with Legendary Performer, carried on by Essential Elvis, and then brought to its peak with Follow That Dream. So produced at a reasonable price, originally only available through the fan club, I believe. And that began a series of regular releases at an affordable price, single discs. Sadly now seems to have been discontinued in favour of multi-disc expensive releases, which I think is a shame. And in 2009, very much in the style of the Essential Elvis releases, came the FTD vinyl. So this was the first, Blue Hawaii. Again done as a gatefold. Very nice covers. And for the first few, the inner sleeves were very nicely produced as well. Though they abandoned this and went to plain inner sleeves. Of course, the first Essential Elvis, FTD releases are now ridiculously expensive. Standing room only. So again, the inner sleeves. I've actually put the records in plain sleeves. And that of course continues to this day. Though instead of being a label for fans, it's turning into a collector's label. Which is a shame, because its pricing's a lot of fans out. But of course we've had all this previously unheard Elvis material. Masses of Elvis concerts. Lots of new songs. Lots of new performances. So it's been an enjoyable ride. How much further it can go, I don't know. It's becoming repetitive. As much as I love Elvis concerts, he didn't really vary them a lot during seasons and tours. So you get the occasional new song, or slightly different version. But who knows, maybe they'll surprise us. One of the big surprising things has been the number of unheard Sun recordings and tracks recorded around that time that have surfaced. So maybe there'll still be some surprises to come. Hopefully there will. So we'll keep collecting. If you don't have any of these, they're worth getting. You can get a lot of them quite cheaply. And it makes a nice progression from a legendary performer through Essential Elvis into Follow That Dream. So that's it for this video. Hopefully I'll do a live chat soon. Thank you to everyone for your support. It's been a difficult period, but I'll get through it. So next time, bye for now.